Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Channel Show. So, as you can tell from the title and the video, we are doing another video of Am I the Asshole from Reddit, and I don't know when the last time I did one of these was, but not a huge deal. We're doing one again now. It's easy content to do, and I don't do a lot of these reactions to like Reddit threads just because it's like, not that it's like real people's lives versus like reacting to like books or reading books and watching stuff. Not that it's like you're reacting to like real people, real lives. You are, and real situations, but it's like I feel like there's so much of that around that it's like I don't want to do it as much, but because I do a lot of stuff that is going on a lot, I just figured it's easy filler content. So also, before I really get into it, like I showed in the disclaimer photos, I am posting every day of February. Like I've mentioned, today's like the 6th day, I think, 7th, I don't know. Yeah, today's February 6th. Like I'm posting every day of February, and I'm gonna keep mentioning that as just the reminder, because I don't want people, like especially if you're new to my channel, welcome. I don't want new people coming to my channel thinking that this is my usual, this is my regular. So if you're not new and you're watching all these videos, I apologize for this repetition, but it's for just in case people are new. So anyway, to get into these, I have 4 that I'm going to react to. Let me grab my mouse because my keypad is a little bit weird. Is this the Bluetooth side? Nope. There's the Bluetooth side. Okay. So the first one I'm looking at, I have 4 kind of lined up. I'll see timing wise how things work, if I do all 4. But the first one I'm looking at is, am I the asshole for keeping a family cookbook that was previously thrown away? So most people have deemed this not the asshole. I'll see what I think and I'll see the comments. I think I've done this once before in Am I the Asshole post, and usually I'll say my opinion first after reading this before reading other people's opinions, just because I don't want my initial opinion to be influenced. So I usually share my initial opinion and then I'll read through some of the comments and then see if I agree and see if it changes. And it's okay to change. Sorry, my bunny's sneezing. Bless you, Pepper. And her name's Pepper. So like, I'm okay with changing my opinion based on what comments say. I want my initial reaction to be like the initial reaction before reading the comments. So first, Reddit, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for keeping a family cookbook that was previously thrown away? More than 10 years ago, my sister-in-law's mother-in-law passed away. The family cleaned out her house, took what they wanted, then decided to toss the rest. Before it was tossed, my sister-in-law said to see if there was anything I wanted. All I could find was an old cookbook, which was in plain sight on the kitchen table. Fast forward to this year, when I posted a photo of my island with cookbooks all over it. And in parentheses, I was looking for a certain recipe. My brother-in-law saw the photo and his mother's cookbook, then demanded its return. I refused. The whole family is in an uproar. Half are on my side and half on his. I've had to block quite a few from being able to contact me as they are getting really rude. Am I the asshole for not returning it? If I hadn't taken it, it was going to be thrown away. I think I agree with, before looking at the comments, I think I agree, not the asshole. Just because it's like, if the OP hadn't posted the photo with the recipe book, with the cookbook and plain sight, they wouldn't have known. And I feel like that it would have been a situation where it's like they may have, either if they had remembered about it, let's say in a hypothetical it was tossed, someone might have remembered and tried looking for it and then have been really bummed about it potentially being tossed. Or in that scenario, or in another slightly hypothetical, let's say it was tossed, they probably wouldn't have remembered if you had posted about it. So I don't think you're the asshole. I think what the in-laws could have done was asked for certain recipes, like, hey, can you share the recipes because we want to carry on. But it's like, if they didn't care enough to try to hold on to the cookbook, if it was in plain sight on the kitchen table before everything else was tossed out, if it was in plain sight, then they didn't care enough to keep it, and they only care enough now because you posted about it. So, and they don't really care about it, I think, at the end of the day, and it's not going to get used. So I would say if someone asks for a certain recipe or ask for you to share the recipe, that's okay. Like, you don't have to. But they obviously didn't care enough at the start when the house was being sold or whatever. But anyway, so let's go down to the comments. Okay. So the first comment I'm seeing: look and keep what you want. 10 years later. No, not that. Not the asshole. They're beyond ridiculous. You could offer to maybe let them copy the book or give them the recipes if they want, but you're not obligated to give a book away that they specifically didn't want and let you keep for 10 years. It's true. And that's kind of like what I said. Like, if they want a specific recipe or if they want the recipes, you can share it. You're not obligated to share it because they didn't care enough to want the cookbook before getting rid of everything. Okay, so let's look at some of the other comments. Sorry, I was just trying to clarify something. So another person replied to that initial comment that I just read, saying, we don't know that the brother-in-law is being unreasonable. Demanded it back makes one think of someone storming over, angrily shouting, but it could just as easily have been a message saying, that looks like my mom's cookbook. I thought it was lost forever. I was supposed to have it. When's a good time for me to pick it up? Not sure I trust the phrasing of that kind of person who thinks it's reasonable to start a feud to keep a dead woman's cookbook away from her son. I do agree. It could have just, if we're talking about a message, if we're talking about like a text message or an email or some form of written out message, this might have been a comment too. I think a comment like that, like this person is suggesting, I feel like that would be a little bit hard to misinterpret. I'm assuming there was like some sort of phone call or some sort of real-time interaction, even if it was not in person, there was some sort of in-time interaction. So it very easily could have been that they were demanding about it and being rude and unreasonable, but it also very well could have been that they had like asked nicely about it, like, hey, I was supposed to have it, but we don't have any edits or anything clearing up like if it was meant to go to someone. And I honestly think that if it was meant to go to someone, or if someone knew that they were supposed to have like that cookbook, then I feel like that's one of the first things they would have grabbed, or maybe not one of the first things, but I feel like they would have grabbed it, or they would have seen the OP grabbing it or going for it and saying like, oh, hey, I think my mom meant that for me. And I feel like that's also something that siblings would know too, where it's like, oh, I think so-and-so was supposed to have, I think brother-in-law was supposed to have the cookbook. I feel like someone would have mentioned it. Okay. Okay, so I don't know where this person got this information from, but there's another commenter saying, I would return the original cookbook and buy myself a replacement copy if possible, or photocopy the cookbook if buying a replacement isn't possible. I really couldn't imagine keeping something of my deceased mother-in-law's if one of her actual children requested it back. Which, yeah, I agree. Again, maybe there's like a way to work it out, like photocopying. And then this person edited their comment saying, this isn't even the OP's mother-in-law. Apparently it's her husband's sister's husband's mother. So the OP is married to her husband, the husband's brother. So that's why I get a little bit confused when people just call everyone like brother-in-law or sister-in-law, you know, or mother-in-law, where it's like, for me in my mind, in-law is the parents of the family of the person you're actually married to. And then there's like extended in-laws, which would, okay, so to clear up, so wife is married to husband. Maybe I can draw this out somewhere. Oh, I can maybe hear purple. That's not it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I have a free envelope maybe that I can maybe use. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. That's free enough. Okay. One moment. Okay, so if I'm understanding this comment correctly, sorry, this is inverted, but you have the original poster, the OP, you have OP's husband, husband's sister, husband of the sister, and the cookbook belonged to the sister's husband's mother. So it's like not even her actual mother-in-law. Again, this is why I'm a little bit, it's the sister-in-law's mother-in-law. And this is why I kind of don't like, well, maybe not don't like, I'm not super fond of labeling everyone as in-laws. Because like I said, for me at least, I know in some cultures it's like, if you're married to someone, then any in-laws that are somehow connected to your husband then become your in-laws. Like the sister's husband, the sister-in-law's husband is the brother's in-law, and kind of like your brother-in-law. But, well, I guess he's your brother-in-law in a sense. But his mother, the sister's husband's mother, is not your mother-in-law. So it's like, I don't know where that information came from, because it's not in the original post as an edit. But if that is the case, I'm not sure why she's keeping on to it. Like, if there's recipes that the OP likes, yeah, definitely see if you can hold on to it. But it's like, why are you keeping, yeah, another person said, I wonder, does family cookbook mean handwritten recipes and or carefully collected ones? If so, it's a family heirloom. Why keep your brother's wife's mother's family heirloom? It has no value to her, much value to them. OP should give it back. I do think if we're going based off of the post with the new information, so it seems like it's the husband's sisters. It's the sister-in-law's mother-in-law. And it's like, if that's the case, there might have been some overreactions on both sides. And I do think that there could be something worked out. Another person said, had responded to the quote, it's apparently her husband's sister's husband's mother. So the sister's mother-in-law, the sister-in-law's mother-in-law. So they responded to this comment saying, this is the crux of the matter, I feel, and it's 2025. There's no way this cookbook has mystical recipes OP has never seen anywhere else. The time that Julia Child was the only one who unlocked The time that Julia, a child, was the only one who unlocked a foreign cuisine, and that only cuisine up for consideration was the French one, is long past. Even Bon Appetit has now acknowledges different cultural traditions of equal value. So yeah, okay, another commenter says the cookbook was sitting on the kitchen table in plain view, which leads me to believe it was just overlooked before OP was offered to take whatever they could find. Like someone placed it there to pick it up later on their way out or something and just forgot to grab it. That's the problem with these types of stories. We get one person's view of the entire scenario. If the cookbook was meant to be trash, not the asshole for taking the book. As soon as her direct descendant wanted the cookbook, though, I personally would have given it to them. It's a very asshole-ish move not to. You might be right in keeping it, but that doesn't make you not an asshole. I mean, for God's sakes, it's your sister-in-law's mother-in-law, so your brother's wife's, but it's your brother's wife's sister's mother-in-law. It's your brother's wife's sister's husband's mother. So yeah, it's I do think she could give the book back or work out something where she has the recipe she wants and she can give the original cookbook back. Again, we don't have, like, that is a little bit of a tricky one because we don't have the full side of the story. So my initial gut reaction is to say not the asshole. I think it's a situation where everyone's in the wrong, maybe, because like it really depends on the reaction. Maybe no one's in the wrong because maybe there was some miscommunication, misunderstandings. So next up, am I the asshole for taking my niece on vacation after her parents planned one without her? My niece, 11, is the youngest child with 4 older brothers. She's also the youngest cousin/grandchild and the only girl. Between the fact that she was very sick when she was little, she's a little spoiled by everyone except her parents. When she turned 11, she told her mom she wanted to go on a weekend trip with just her and her mom. Her mom made a big deal about her wanting to exclude her dad and brothers. They refused to do the trip and also didn't plan anything for her birthday, so I took her on the trip myself. Last month was one of her brother's birthdays. He decided that for his birthday he wanted everyone to go to Mexico except for my niece. Her parents agreed that it was fair because if she wanted a trip without them, they can go get one without her. They asked me if I could watch her for 10 days. My niece was so upset, so I decided to plan a surprise trip for her. I have some clients in Miami, so I arranged for us to go there for 5 days, drive up to Orlando for 3, and then fly to New York for 2 days, where I also had to get some work done. It was technically a work trip, but I was able to plan a lot of fun outings for my niece. Just before their trip to Mexico, I told my niece's parents that I had to be in Florida and New York for work during their trip, but I could take her with me. Since it wasn't last minute, they had to agree as they didn't have any other childcare and couldn't miss this trip. She had a blast. We spent a day in Disney World, went to 2 Broadway shows, spent most of our time in Florida on the beach, did a lot of shopping, got room service for the first time, and our tickets were upgraded, so we flew first class on our way home. Her parents are mad that I spoiled her and undermined them, so I don't get to see her as much as I used to. I'm still their after-school childcare, so I see her a few days a week. And they're going around telling extended family that I took their kid across the country without permission because I was upset about her being punished for being rude. Not the asshole. Not at all, even without looking at the comments. It's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky because you would think that if she was very sick, the parents would be like the first ones to spoil her. And it'd be like extended family would be like, okay, you need to settle down on the coddling. But it was kind of like the reverse here. And the thing is they didn't even take her on a trip. And their thing was like, oh, he gets to actually go on a trip and exclude her just because she requested to go on one with. And you know, like most sensible moms, if they have like a daughter, most of them would be like over the moon to go on like a mother-daughter trip. Okay. Okay, so there's the judgment bot for Am I the Asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they... Okay, so it was last minute and they couldn't find any other childcare. I messed up that. So OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be the asshole because I planned a trip for my niece, told her parents about it last minute so they wouldn't be able to find other childcare options, and spoiled the crap out of her because her family went to Mexico without her. I don't think that makes you the asshole. I don't think that makes you the asshole because, like, she's your family. Her parents don't spoil her, like, seem to prioritize the sons, which again is weird. It's like, it's usually kind of the opposite. If you have a lot of girls or a lot of boys and a single girl, it's usually more so if you have like 3 or more kids and only one is a girl, you tend to spoil the girl a little bit more, and vice versa. Like if you have a lot of girls, you tend to spoil the boy. So it's kind of weird that they don't do that with her. So one commenter says she asked for a trip with mom alone. They said no because it's mean to her brothers. But when brother wants a trip without her, it's fine because she had dared to ask for a trip without siblings. So yeah, not the asshole. You're a wonderful person to look out for her. Oh, so another person replied to that comment saying it's the we have contempt for females types of parents. OP is not the asshole. She's a hero. Let's look at more comments. Another person said she wanted to be a mom. Did her brother want a me and dad, or me, dad, brother 1, brother 2, brother 3, and mom? Sure, same thing. The parents are assholes. So it's like, that's the difference. If it was son 1 and dad, that would have been equivalent. But he excluded only the sister. So another person said this idea that she proposed a trip to the mom and she turned around and shaved her in front of the whole family. Yeah. So, and then this person said, OP is the mom your sister or sister-in-law because she in particular is a huge asshole in the family. Yeah, like if this, like either way, I would try to cut them off, or like as much as you can. In this moment, like she's currently 11. Okay, so I'm within time for this post. So she's around 11, maybe 12 now. So it's like you can't fully cut off the parents yet, even though they seem to have cut off you somewhat. Someone commented saying like, okay, someone said maybe they're like super religious and there's some like female pretentious, like less than and bring up the boys, maybe a boy mom. And someone else says or she's an affair baby, maybe, and like there's might be some sort of shame in that. I know another commenter says, I know several moms who intentionally go on trips with each of their children independently, for actual one-on-one time with each child. Perish the fucking thought. These people are definitely the assholes, and a few more creative words. Not the asshole. 100% agree, not the asshole. Just because it's like, she's 11, first off. Second off, only girl, so it's like, yeah, like you probably want some more one-on-one time with your mom when you're the only girl. So the next one, I think this one's gonna be the last one I'm gonna look at. Last one I'm gonna look at, am I the asshole for asking my husband to not plan activities without telling me? Oh, I'm really quick on this one. My 38 female husband, 37 male, and I have 2 kids who are 9 and 6. 9 female and 6 female. My husband has a habit of planning things and either A, not telling me, or B, telling me the last minute. These usually happens 1 or 2 weekends a month. Sometimes I wake up on the weekend and I hear him and the kids already eating, and that's the day my husband wants to tell me, oh, we're going to XYZ. Then I have to get myself ready in less than 30 minutes, and then I'm looking crazy. Sigh. Other times, I just go back to bed and enjoy the morning. So last Saturday, my husband wanted to go to some holiday market in a city nearby and didn't tell me until the day before. Sorry, I had to sneeze. He didn't tell me what time he wanted to leave, which city at like 9 a.m., which was at like 9 a.m., and we only live 40 minutes away. Oh boy. So I had to make myself look presentable quickly, and then he wanted to be cracking jokes about how my hair looked like a bird's nest on the card right there. When we get back, I asked him to not do these types of things without more notice and started a whole argument in my the asshole. Before looking at the comment, no, not the asshole. Because it's like, this seems to be like a consistent habit. If it was like once or twice, then like, if it was like once or twice, like in a larger span of time, maybe like 6+ months, once or twice in a 6-month span, and maybe a little bit spaced out too. Not even spaced out. Once or twice in a 6-month span, maybe a little bit. But this has been happening consistently. Tell you either the day before and not give you enough information, or tell you an hour before with little time to get ready, or under an hour before. Okay, the judgment bot, OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. Ooh boy, no, not the asshole because of this. I might be the asshole because I'm making my husband feel bad for wanting to plan stuff for our kids. No, you're not the asshole for doing that. If this was like daddy-daughter's time, then fine. But he seems to be actively he seems to be assuming that OP is joining most of the time. So it's like, hey, we're gonna be leaving, start getting ready, that kind of situation. So it's like, you're not the asshole. Like, yes, you can choose to not go, but like, he seems to be intentionally doing this. First comment I'm saying, not the asshole, but why are you going? If he makes plans for the family and doesn't give you reasonable notice, then don't go. Have him take the kids by himself. Have plans of your own, coffee, read in the park, anything but stay at home, and leave the house at a time of your choosing. If he complains you're ruining the plans, tell him it's not plans unless everyone is informed and able to attend. It's hurtful and disrespectful of your feelings and time for him continually excluding you from planning, and then bully you when you aren't able to be presentable or fully present because of what he does. I agree. Like, another person says OP responded to this saying, except OP is missing out on family activity. If they want to stay home, great, but what if something they would have chosen to participate in? But what if it's something they would have chosen to participate in or given adequate notice? Yes. So you're not the asshole. Yes, OP can choose not to go. But yeah. Another person said, you never tell the kids before the parent. Yes. Another comment says, does he expect you to go, or is it more of your FOMO? If it was me, I'd let him handle the outings by himself and I'd relax at home. I agree, where it's like, it might be that she has some FOMO and then feels like she needs to go or feels like she needs to help. From the way OP worded it, it does seem like there is an expectation that it's a family outing and not just like daddy-daughter outings. So, not the asshole. Maybe there's a way you can approach it. Maybe there's a way you can approach having that discussion with him, but not the asshole at the end of the day. So, and at this point, I don't think the OP needs to worry about hurting his feelings. So that is the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you agree, if you disagree, what you think. Civilly, please, because we're here to have discussions. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.